Hi, can I get a small hot caramel coffee?
Did you want any cream in that or just caramel?
I'll do 3 cream.
I'll wait first one to thank you.
Thank you. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is Tuesday and I'm on my way to work, but I wanted to get a video in today that I'll probably post Sunday. I'm not sure yet. My name is Kyle, for anybody that doesn't know, aka Prince Kyle, and on this channel I post videos about my transition through story times and personal life experiences. So if that is something that interests you, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and like and comment on some of my past videos. But first, I need to get some coffee because I'm still half asleep. You can probably hear it in my voice. So yeah, let's go get some coffee.
So what can I do for you?
Hi, can I get a small hot caramel coffee?
Did you want any cream in that or just caramel?
I'll do 3 cream
Okay.
and that'll be it.
I'll wait first one to thank you.
Thank you. God dang it. My chapstick froze. I need to stop leaving it in the car. We got the coffee. Alright, I'll catch back up with you guys when I get to work. And we'll hop into the video. Alright, y'all, I'm back and I got my coffee. Well, my breakfast, because who actually has time to eat in the morning? So I guess I'll just settle for my coffee. As you can see from the title, somebody grabbed my junk and got away with it. Before we really dive into it, if this kind of topic makes you uncomfortable or it is triggering, obviously click away, don't watch. I'm not going to get into detail or use any like specific names to body parts. I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward. But yeah, if this is something that may trigger you, then click away in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, everything I'm about to say, it is a true story. It happened about 4-ish years ago, maybe. Yeah, it happened about 4 years ago, and I haven't really talked about it until recently, just because it's embarrassing. I mean, yeah, it's just really awkward. But I figured I would tell my story in case it's happened to anybody else, or if anyone else can relate, and things you could possibly do so that these people don't think it's okay. Because the person that did it to me, like I said in the title, pretty much got away with it, and to this day thinks it's okay. So about 4 years ago, me and my friend at the time that I met in college, we were hanging out, and she was like, hey, like, I have a group of friends and I kind of want to go link up with them, so we should all link up. Mind you, this is back when I was actually social, so I actually had friends, and I was like, all right, cool. So me and her went over to this girl's house, and there were 3 other girls with her, and then one of the girls, like 3-year-old daughters, and we were in like a small apartment, and we were all just chilling, whatever, things are fine. And as I go on with the story, you're just gonna see all the different red flags that I should have just noticed and completely just left at that point in time. But back then, I don't know, I guess I wasn't as confident nor educated with myself to know what is right and wrong and what is right and wrong to say or to do. I didn't really know, so you live and you learn, I guess. I just happened to learn in a crappy way. So we're all hanging out, and my friend at the time thought it would be a good idea to let them know I'm transgender. That's red flag number 1. Like, at the end of the day, it's nobody's business whether I'm trans or not. And I feel like because I advocate on social media, people think that that is the okay to out me. They think just because I advocate for the internet that I also want people in person to know, not realizing that it can be dangerous. That day, she took it amongst herself to pretty much out me and say, hey, did you guys know that he's transgender? Red flag number 2 is the girls that we were hanging out with were extremely, in the nicest way possible, like reckless and just super obnoxious. So I knew the second they found out I was transgender, they were about to just start asking a bunch of questions. And I prepared myself for it. So the second they all found out, they really couldn't believe it. I was probably a year and a half in my transition, so most of my features had changed. My facial hair was starting to grow. I was working out at the time, so I had muscle and just like all the tiny indicators that people would normally see as being male. So with that newfound information, they just couldn't believe the fact that I was actually transgender. So for the next hour, they were just bombarding me with questions like, oh my god, so how long have you been transgender? How long this, that? Just a bunch of questions that like I was not trying to answer, because again, I share my story through social media, mostly for people who truly want to be educated on the topic, and then for the people who are planning on transitioning or want to have more knowledge to tell their parents that they're transgender, just all of that stuff. I do it for educational purposes, not to just be hanging out with a group of friends and just become this Google search on trans questions. Like that's just not what I'm trying to do. So as they're asking all these questions, so far they're not asking the golden question, so I'm like, all right, I may be in the clear. Maybe they're just gonna really want to be educated on certain things, and this will be smooth sailing. Well, was I wrong? So, the worst part about it is we are outside, and the town I'm hanging out in is a pretty busy city. So we're in this apartment complex area where everybody's outside. It was summertime. Everybody's chilling outside. So the conversation could be heard for miles. And the one girl out of nowhere says, so if you're transgender, what body parts do you have? And anyone that knows me, I'm a pretty shy guy, so I just, whenever I feel awkward or uncomfortable, I giggle and just kind of like, try and brush it off and change the conversation. So she asked again, and then I still wasn't really giving her an answer, because again, we're outside and in front of a bunch of people, and like anyone could hear, men, women, anyone. So I'm like I don't even know how to answer this question. So then out of nowhere, and this part came out of nowhere, she walks up to me. Mind you, all of us are in the age range of like 19 to 26. And at that time, I was only like 19 or 20, I don't remember. Yeah, 19 or 20. And the girl that did this was like 25, 26 at the time. Like, this is even more uncomfortable because you're a little bit older than me, and it was just really awkward. So she comes up to me, and she, with no explanation, no further questions, just walks up and grabs my junk and says, oh, okay, yeah, you are trans. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, Kyle, why the heck did you not punch her in the face? And again, at the time, and honestly to this day, I'm a very shy person. If I don't know you personally, I just get really uncomfortable and awkward, and this all came out of nowhere. Like, it went from just asking general questions to this random woman, because this was not my friend that did it, it was my friend's friend that did it. So this random woman just coming up to me and grabbing my junk, like just grabbing me with like, and she had nothing to say, she just did it. And the worst part about it was everyone around her didn't even say anything to her about it being so disrespectful, so inappropriate. And my friend at the time, quote unquote, at the time, and if you can see why I left that friend in the past, she had nothing to say. She didn't like tell this girl that like she completely violated me, and pretty much everybody just acted like it was normal and funny. And so I just awkwardly laughed with them, because it wasn't funny, but it was just so awkward for me, and because I was outside and I just felt so violated. I don't really know if people saw from like the sides or any random people saw, but it just made me feel really uncomfortable. I don't even know. I just felt really, really off. And pretty much the day went on, and I know your guys' next question is, well, did you press charges? Did you do anything afterwards with this? And unfortunately, no, I didn't. I just kind of brushed it off, and I finished off the night hanging out with them as if nothing happened. And from there to this day, she pretty much just lives life not thinking she did anything wrong. And some people may think that this is not a big deal, like, oh, it's not that serious, like, it's not that bad. But it really is. Like, at the end of the day, she was a stranger. She had no business touching me, let alone touching any part of me. And the fact that she grabbed me in such a private area, it's like, you had no business doing that. And then on top of that, for the trans community, you are intentionally violating who we are as a person, and you are pretty much using our body part to justify whether or not we are trans. It's beyond me. And I guess the next part of this is that a lot of cisgender people think that in order to be transgender, you have to have some type of modification to your, like, downstairs. And that is not true at all. It does not matter what body part you have in order to be transgender. Being transgender is all about gender, which is in your brain and has nothing to do with your organs. So it's just very unfortunate when there are people who believe that just because you have a certain body part, that determines if you're transgender. If you've had surgeries, then you're fully transitioned. Just all of that stuff. You can be transgender and feel completely transitioned with or without bottom surgery. So pretty much she got away with it, and it is really, really unfortunate, because if that were to happen today, and then I definitely would have pressed charges actually at that exact moment, because nobody should do that and feel like it is okay to do that, and there should be consequences to those who do things like that. If you guys are wondering, no, I'm not friends with that girl anymore, because again, I feel like she could have done anything. She could have stepped in, she could have told that girl she was out of line for it, and she didn't. She just laughed with them, and so that was enough for me to realize that that's not a true friend. If anybody can relate or has any comments on this story, leave it down below. I would love to hear. And if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, if you have me on Instagram, I will tag the name below as well. You can message me directly and let me know your experience or any comments you may have to say about the situation and how I could have handled it differently, because God forbid it happens again. Knock on any type of wood. I don't see any, but yeah, knock on wood. I pray it never happens to me again, or I pray it really never happens to any of you guys. And yeah, just let me know, give me some feedback on the situation, because again, I've kind of brushed it under the rug for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's just really unfortunate that this girl got away with it, and I hope she never ever thinks it's okay to do it again. Also, somebody in one of my comments, I don't remember which one, had asked me to do some mukbangs, and I have wanted to, but I'm not sure if like that's the content that people would even care to see. I'm still trying to figure out the type of content that I want to continue to do. Right now, I really do like my story times and like my lifestyle. What I can do is I can incorporate me like going to fast food places and just like getting food and eating while I do my story times. Let me know if you guys would like things like that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.